Welcome to Behind the Badge. I'm your host, Chief David Malloy, Director of Public Safety with the City of Novi. And we're excited to come to you live here from Imagine Theater. It's our 14th annual Addicted to Movies, Not Drugs, joined by Abby Leffler, our graphic design coordinator for the City of Novi, and John Zabik, our detective, school resource officer. Welcome to Behind the Badge.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks for having me.
So, Abby, start out just by telling us a little bit about what we got going on here tonight.
Sure. So tonight is the annual Addicted to Movies, Not Drugs event where we bring in Novi and surrounding area youth and teens to have a fun night of movies, popcorn, pizza, and to raise awareness for drug prevention and positively affect the community.
Excellent. They come in at 9 o'clock, 9:30. They're checked in at 10 o'clock. They're here till 6 o'clock in the morning.
They sure are.
Excellent, excellent. And we got a good slate of movies, I understand, this year?
We do, yep. We've got Uncle Drew, Nutcracker, Goosebumps too, so I think they'll enjoy them.
Excellent. And John, I know you've been coordinating this. You've been in the high school now 6 years?
6 years, correct.
6 years, and you've been kind of the liaison, the coordinator for this. What's different this year, you think?
Well, I pretty much fall back on Abby and all of her hard work and try to just coordinate the police and fire efforts for chaperones, and it's been great under her leadership. It's probably one of the smoothest check-ins we've had, so we're off to a great start.
I like the way that we were kind of staging them as they came in, and I think that was a great idea, whoever came up with that. But it's a great time. We know the kids don't have school tomorrow, so we know where 600 of our local youth are tonight. That's a good thing. Keeps them out of trouble, keeps everything smooth, everything happy. And John, your duties got a little bit lighter this year with the addition of a second school resource officer. You want to tell the public about that?
Yeah, that's a great addition for the city, and the ability that we have to proactively engage and liaison with the educational community, and most specifically our students. Adding Detective Julie Warren at the middle school has helped us really parse out the way that we handle the school district as a whole, as well as the other school districts that touch within the community of Novi, and our private and parochial schools as well. And the benefit of that is that it helps the school resource officers be greatly more proactive as opposed to reactive. And that's helping us do some of the things that you specifically had wanted to achieve in the schools with some of our team training and some of our ALICE curriculum, and getting those things out there to the faculty and staff to ultimately make our position more productive and more proactive.
And I think it goes a long way to our ultimate goal, keeping all the students, keeping all the children, keeping all the faculty, keeping all the staff, keeping everyone safe. And I think that goes a long way and kind of helps. In addition to all of our uniform patrols, I was looking at some of those numbers already, and we've already done several hundred visits to all of our elementaries, middle schools, in schools throughout the city so far this year, and we're only roughly 8 weeks into the new school year. So that's a credit to you and Julie, and we're looking forward to that. And Abby, so this is what, your second or third Addicted to Movies, Not Drugs?
So this will be the second one for
okay.
me.
Good.
So I'm very excited to, really lead the effort and getting everyone in and have a fun night for all the youth here.
And you've been kind of the new liaison with the Novi Youth Council.
Yes.
How's that been working out?
That's been excellent. I've really gotten a hands-on feel for working with them and understanding, some of the challenges that the youth do face this year, and making them proactive and active citizens.
What kind of other events you guys got coming up? Any other things planned?
So we volunteer at the appreciation event, and then we also do a senior dance. So that'll be around the Valentine's Day.
Okay, and that's at Waltonwood like it typically is?
I think we're going to change things up a little bit
Good,
this year.
good.
So it might be a new location.
Awesome. All the kids are doing great. They're reliable. They come, they show up, they volunteer, and they don't just do that to put that on their resume. They do that because they care.
Yes, they do. They're really active and want to be leaders in the community, so this gives them a great platform to do so.
Excellent, excellent. John, any parting thoughts for you? I know you're going to be here all night. Abby, I'm assuming you're going to be here all night as well?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be here all night, and we got a steady stream of volunteers that are doing shifts throughout the night, middle of the night, to keep these kids safe and make sure we have an orderly, fun night tonight.
Yeah. Big hats off to our firefighters, our uniformed police officers. We got dozens of CERT volunteers out here, as we do every single year. Marshals shepherding all those volunteers around. And the ultimate goal is just to have a good, fun night, but keeping it safe, keeping everybody contained. No one can just walk in and out of here. It's a really safe environment. So hats off to both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate everything you do. And to you, the viewing audience, stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Behind the Badge. I'm your host, Chief David Malloy, Director of Public Safety for the City of Novi. Proud to be joined by a couple colleagues here tonight, Officer Michael Daisley, his partner Aries, and Assistant Chief Scott Batens. Gentlemen, thanks for coming out tonight.
Thanks, Chief.
It's our 14th annual Addicted to Movies, Not Drugs. Can't believe we've shepherded another 600 kids inside the theater tonight, and great night. I really appreciate you guys both coming out.
Absolutely.
Mike, I know you're a mainstay every year. You and Aries are always out, and I know you love interacting with the kids. They love the dogs. What's the best thing about that?
To see how happy everybody is when they come in and see the dog. Everybody's eyes kind of light up. They take a step back and then they realize, hey, looks kind of friendly. Can I pet him? And he's a very friendly dog.
And you guys have been a team for how long?
6 years.
6 years. And he is, I think I just heard a minute ago,
Seven
seven and a half years old? Okay. What's your normal day like when you're out? I know you train a lot, but what's your normal work day looking like?
We come into work. We do the same thing everybody else does. We respond to all the same calls. In the event that there's a narcotics call or somebody's missing that we can track, we'll respond to that call and help out. He's a very good tracking dog. Also good at finding narcotics in cars. So he's very useful not only to me but everybody on our shift.
Yeah, and I know you've had a couple successful tracks for some of our area law enforcement agencies where they've had criminals leaving, whether larceny from auto or I think it was a home invasion, somebody was breaking into a garage. Aries was very successful in tracking that individual down.
He is very, very successful at tracking. I think I'd have to double check his numbers, but in his career, I think we're at 40 people that we've caught.
Excellent. Outstanding. And Assistant Chief, thank you again for coming out. I appreciate the volunteer spirit. We got dozens and dozens of firefighters, dispatchers, police officers all out here making sure that it's a safe night for everybody. What's been your experience with it over the years?
I can say from growing up in the city of Novi, being born and raised here, excuse me, I wish this event was held when I was growing up. It's a safe, family-friendly occasion, and the movies are great, the atmosphere is great, and the partnership we have with Novi Youth Council and Imagine Theater is second to none.
Yeah, this has got to be like a $45,000 or $50,000 night that Imagine donates in kind. When you take a look at the number of kids that get to see 4 movies for free, popcorn, sodas, they'll have pizzas throughout, they'll eat all night long. And Paul Glantz is a great community partner for making this happen. 14 years in running, you know, we're looking at well over north of $500,000 of in-kind investments that he's made to this community, and for that, our hats off to him. You know, it's outstanding to watch the young people come in, interact, they talk to the police officers, they talk to the firefighters. I look at this as just one more way that we can help build trust with all the young men and women in our community, whether they're from, they're from a foreign country, they're here as an expat, or they're here to go to school, whatever it might be. We're always looking for those opportunities to build public trust.
Yes, and the students get to see us outside of uniform, and it humanizes us, and it's a great working relationship with them
Absolutely,
as well.
absolutely. So what do you guys got good coming up? You got any good training coming up again?
We train lots. We train every Thursday that we work, so twice a month we train. We just got back from a week in Alpena, Michigan. There was 300 teams up in Alpena, the largest training event of its kind. We were fortunate enough to attend that and get some real good training done up there.
Excellent.
So.
And what's he work for? He works for a tennis ball, or he works
He
for...
does. He has either a lacrosse ball on a rope or a piece of basically fire hose filled with cotton. So that's everything he does is for that toy and that reward. He doesn't get food treats. That's his what he does everything for, tracking people, finding narcotics. He does it all for a little ball.
And when you are transitioning from those different activities of doing, whether it's tracking, looking for narcotics, basically it's just all about what collar he has on?
Right.
So he understands that?
So for tracking, we'll put a big harness on him so that all the pressure is on his chest. There's not any pressure on his neck when he's pulling. For narcotics, we put a smaller collar on him, and he knows that once that collar's on him, he's there to find different narcotics.
Excellent, excellent. And when you guys go home at night, he's just a family pet from then on
He
out,
is.
right?
He sleeps right next to me, right on the floor next to my bed. He goes home with me. He lives with me and my family, so it's
Outstanding.
a little extra protection at home, too.
Absolutely outstanding. So I notice you gentlemen are sporting some beards here tonight. You want to tell the viewing audience what that's all about?
We'd love to, Chief. It's first in our history, but we're partaking in Movember, and that's to raise awareness for prostate cancer, testicular cancer, along those lines, and men's health prevention and awareness.
And I understand we've already raised at least $2,000. All the officers who are participating pay $50, and I think we have some relationship with Ascension Providence Hospital here in Novi, to where we're going to donate that to the Cancer Center, maybe to help offset some mounting medical bills, transportation, ancillary expenses for some of the cancer patients. So
Yes, it is.
my hat's off to both of you guys. I can't grow anything like that because
Great cause.
it doesn't come in, but it is a great cause. And,
Yeah.
I really appreciate both of you participating in that. So thanks for coming out again. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for all the work. Appreciate you coming out and volunteering. And you, the viewing audience, will be right back. Welcome back to Behind the Badge. I'm your host, Chief David Malloy, Director of Public Safety for the City of Novi, and I'm really honored to be joined by a couple of our Novi Youth Council members, Neha and Aaliyah. Welcome to Behind the Badge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for coming out tonight. Tell us a little bit about, I think this is your second year that you've been doing Addicted to Movies?
Yeah, so I've been on the Novi Youth Council for, I think this is my third year.
Okay.
And I've helped out with Addicted to Movies for 2 years, and it's a really great event, and every year we have a great turnout, and it's something I always look forward to every year.
So tell us what grade you're in, where do you go to school?
So I'm in 11th grade, I'm a junior. I go to school at Novi High School.
Okay, excellent. And Aaliyah?
This is my first time doing Addicted. I've never come as like a student. This is my first time here, but the positive energy is just like really energizing, and a lot of people are here and they're just smiling, and we're like ready to have a good time. And I'm a sophomore at Novi High School.
Excellent. So we sold 600 tickets. I think our community relations office was overwhelmed with calls today, people wanting to get tickets. Hopefully all your friends made it out. But what do you see as one of the benefits from being on the Youth Council here in Novi?
So the Youth Council actually exposes you to a lot of opportunities in your community. So I know a lot of people are, specifically they go to nursing homes and they help out there, or they do another thing to help out in the community. But the Novi Youth Council really gets you exposed to the whole community. So this, for example, is an event for the youth. But we also volunteer in nursing homes and other places where we can reach out to everyone in the community. So that's super beneficial.
And Aaliyah, you said this is your first Addicted to Movies. Have there been other events that you've been involved with since you've been on Youth Council?
Yeah, I'm actually the chair for the upcoming senior prom
Oh,
that
outstanding.
we're working at Walden Woods. So like with that, I have the opportunity to talk to people, not only like within the City of Novi family, but outside. And I think it's awesome because we're really excited about all the events we do. We not only, like Neha said, interact with youth, but also seniors and other people too, and it's a lot of fun.
So what would you tell the viewers at home, maybe some youngsters, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, who might want to get involved, but they didn't necessarily apply for Youth Council? What would your advice be to them?
I would say apply because it's a lot of fun. You make a lot of friends, you have a lot of opportunities, and even if you're scared too, I was scared coming to my interview, but really it's like a big family and it's perfectly fine. And it's a lot of fun.
How about you, Neha?
Applications are open, so if that's something you want to do, they're open right now and you can get on your computer and get applying. But even if you don't have time for the commitment of Novi Youth Council, there's still plenty of volunteering that you can do, and in fact, we're always looking for volunteers at our events.
So what are you looking at post Novi High School? What are your career goals? Where do you want to go to school?
I'm really interested in technology and business, and especially like how they work together, and I hopefully want to go to a program that gives me the best of both worlds. One good one off the top of my head is the Jerome Fisher M&T program, but it's like a reach, but yeah, that's something I'm looking at.
How about you, Aaliyah?
I'm really interested in going into the medical field. I think volunteering, like with Novi Public Library, with Novi Youth Assistance, and now Novi Youth Council, it just taught me how much I love helping people. And I think that going into the medical field really interests me, so that's what I'm looking towards.
What's been the biggest challenge tonight so far?
I think it's the biggest challenge is because this year we have a lot more food and we have a lot more involvement going on in this event. It's been a little different having to coordinate and make sure that we have this food out on time and everyone knows what's going on. But I mean, having more food and having more people here is definitely better because we have a better event overall.
Excellent, excellent. Well, my hat's off to both of you. Thank you. You are part of the fabric of what I think makes this community a great community. When we have young volunteers, sophomore, juniors in our high school, volunteering to go into nursing homes, volunteering when the rest of your friends are inside having fun all night long. You guys are out here putting out food, cleaning up food, checking people in, making sure they're where they're supposed to be. And that's a huge credit to you all, because I'm a firm believer in having leadership at all levels of our organization, and I'm very, very confident that we have leadership at all levels in our youth council. So thank you both for everything you do.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot. And to you, the viewing audience, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Behind the Badge. Once again, I'm your host, Chief David Malloy, Director of Public Safety for the City of Novi, and I'm proud to be joined by some of my distinguished colleagues in public safety, Captain John Martin in our Fire Suppression Unit of the Novi Fire Department, Mr. Marshall Johnson, our Emergency Management Coordinator, and Director Jeff Johnson, Director of EMS and Fire Operations. Gentlemen, welcome back to Behind the Badge.
Thanks, Chief.
Great event here tonight, 14th annual Addicted to Movies, Not Drugs. You all successfully checked in 600 kids. We know where they're at until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Marshall, hats off to you and the CERT volunteers. How many people you got out here tonight?
Well, we've probably got about 14 CERT volunteers, and many of them have done this activity before, so they pretty much know how the routine works. Many of them were very eager to do it again. There was no hesitation on their part at all.
I've talked to a couple. I talked to John and Rhonda.
Right.
They're like, this is their 6th or 7th or maybe even 8th year that they've done it. They love coming out. They love interacting with the youth. And I think that's just a credit to not only the leadership that you've displayed in the CERT organization, but with our complete emergency management program. You've certainly taken that to all new levels. And you just had a nice little success story this past Saturday.
Yeah, we had a very unique program this year. We combined the Novi CERT with the city of Farmington Hills as well as Livonia. So it was a combined class, and we had 20 graduates. We started off with 27. We lost a few people along the way, but overall the program worked real well, and that cooperative relationship with the other jurisdictions is going to help a lot, especially if you have a widespread emergency. We can count on CERT members from other communities to come in to offset the Novi program as well.
Well, those are certainly two communities, Farmington Hills and Livonia, we work with regularly when it comes to fire operations, police operations, special tactics and things like that, and special response. I think our hazardous materials folks were working on a gas spill on 275 today in the Livonia, Farmington Hills area. So it's second nature for us to do that, and hats off for you for making that happening.
Yeah, it's a good cooperative relationship we have right now.
And I know Captain Martin's helped out quite a bit with some of the training, Stop the Bleed, he's done a lot of naloxone stuff. John, tell us a little bit about your involvement, and do you enjoy getting involved in that?
Absolutely. I've been doing it since the start. Since we first started CERT, I was one of the first instructors teaching more than half the classes. So slowly but surely, now that Marshall's been bringing on a lot of folks that are now trainers now, kind of relinquishing some of that responsibility to them, but we still have a big part in it. We still spend a lot of time doing the fire prevention portion of it, some of the light search and rescue, and also the EMS portions of it too.
That's one thing, Marshall, I forgot to talk about was you're starting to grow and develop trainers within the CERT Corps. And every single night after there's a training, a monthly training or a quarterly training, thank you for sharing those evaluations, because it's kind of very motivating to see that the other CERT volunteers are recognizing their colleagues and they're providing good quality training, which makes your job all the easier.
Well, absolutely. I wanted to relieve that burden from the enlisted people within the uniform aspect of the departments. By developing a cadre of qualified instructors, we can do a lot of things in-house without relying on the resources outside. Not that we don't want to utilize the fire department personnel or the law enforcement, but to have people who are qualified to teach the first aid, the CPR, and other types of programs really helps a lot. So that's something I definitely want to work on.
Excellent.
So.
Cap, what else do we have going on in fire operations? Anything big that we're working on right now?
So right now we just received our ISO rating, so we dropped down to a 2. That means it's good. It's the opposite of what everybody thinks, so we're doing a lot better. We've got a lot of things going on. That part of it is the cooperative agreements that we have with our neighboring departments, and that are automatic mutual aid agreements. The equipment that we carry, the training that we do, all the things that we do for our residents, people that come and visit Novi, and that, and the protection, that's helped us out quite a bit, and that helps out our residents with their insurance ratings.
Excellent.
So it keeps their insurance rates down.
Yeah, and Jeff, I know you kind of started that program, the annual or the ISO review, probably about 14, 15 months ago, and that's been a process you and Mark Tyson, Captain Tyson, been working on?
Yes, in fact, we hadn't had a review chief since 2002, so we were well due for that, and it actually is significant when you have a third-party agency come in and review your services, and they tell you that you're actually reducing that number from 5 to 2. That's significant. That will help not only the commercial businesses, but also the residential homeowner.
I was talking to a couple other chiefs today. I was up at a training up in Lansing, and they really never heard of people jumping down 3 spots, going from a 5 to a 3. It's typically from a 5 to a 4 or a 3 to a 2. What do you attribute that to? Is it staffing all of our stations 24 hours a day? Is it our apparatus, water supply? I know all of it comes into play. What do you attribute it to?
It's a formula that they use in each of those categories that you mentioned, including our communications, so our 911 center, how we screen the calls, our training, personnel, the water distribution, and how we're staffing, and our equipment. Like John had said. So it's significant, and I'm proud too to say that soon we'll be taking delivery of a new ambulance. So we're looking forward to that. That'll be sometime in May of 19. So we got another piece of new equipment that we're constantly looking at our assets, our apparatus, and seeing where we need to make those adjustments.
And we're continuing to bring on new people. I know we're in the interview stage right now for 2 new fire protection officers. We're always looking for paid on call and auxiliary firefighters. We have an outstanding cadre of men and women who give of themselves, working nights and weekends to keep our community safe. I saw some numbers this morning. Over the weekend, I think in fire alone, we took 55 calls for service. We had a structure fire, 20-some medicals, but our priority 1 response time was 4 minutes and 42 seconds, which is outstanding. And it's a tribute to our first line supervisors, our lieutenants and captains in operations, but also the leadership that you embody and display, and really the expectation that we have of our men and women when they're working.
Very proud of our entire organization, and our public safety team really goes above and beyond.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys all for coming out tonight. I can tell you, you've all been here year in, year out. I think this is a testament. This is about a $45,000 night that Mr. Glantz from Imagine donates back in kind for us and these 600 kids. And it's great for the kids of Novi, but I think it's great because I've talked to a couple kids that, their parents came in and they checked them in, and their kids haven't been to a movies in a few months now. So it's a great opportunity for $10. They can come in, they can hang out with their pals. They get to sleep all day tomorrow because they don't have school, and we know where they're all at tonight. We know they're safe and secure. Thanks to you all. Marshall, thanks to you and your volunteers. Captain, appreciate everything to you that you do. And to you, the viewing audience, we appreciate you joining us once again this year at Imagine Theater for the annual Addicted to Movies Not Drugs. And until next time, keep watching Novi Television.